Our presenter this evening will be Ron Kletzker. Ron's company, Hello Garage, renovates garages. I have a garage shop. It's terribly inefficient, but it's a solitude. It's my refuge, and my wife knows where I am. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's a good thing. But I wish it was a better garage. So hopefully, after tonight's presentation, Ron will be able to put my mind at ease.
Good. You got this.
Oh, you got the, yeah, you got the ready built. Okay.
Yeah, I am live, all right.
Yeah.
How are we doing this evening?
You got it, you turn it.
Excellent. So like he said, my name is Rob Kletzker. I'm the owner of Hello Garage in Southeast Charlotte. We've been in business for almost 2 years. Our second anniversary will be this summer. My background, I spent 20 years in building supply and power tool sales. And after working for other people for 20 years, I decided let's do something on our own. So my business partner and I, we started the company, like I said, almost 2 years ago, and we're looking to keep growing and keep expanding. So I'm going to go through with you this evening a presentation like I would give to a homeowner. If I can get into my own computer.
You ready to switch?
So I'm going to go through, I've got a couple videos to show you. I've got some presentation for you about our flooring, our storage, and then we'll go through questions and I'll kind of go through a little bit of design for you. And if you have any questions during it, feel free to stop me and we can kind of go from there. So this is just kind of an introductory video about our product and company, and we'll go from there.
When was the last time you entered your house through the front door? If you're like most people, you probably enter your home through the garage, right? In fact, it's safe to say the garage has become America's new front door. But all too often, this part of the house feels less like an entryway and more like a giant junk drawer. I mean, we get it. Stuff piles up. Life happens. The thing is, even if you don't love your garage right now, that's okay. Because at Hello Garage, we do. We've been in the home improvement business for more than 40 years. We specialize in one thing at Hello Garage: elevating your garage to a room with the kind of front door status you'll enjoy coming home to. And we promise to make your garage project a truly remarkable experience by keeping it simple, straightforward, and believe it or not, fun. But like many decisions in life, some options are better than others. So let's tell you what we know. Bare concrete floors are ugly and dirty. Your common epoxies, they have their own problems. And those tiles and mats are basically just a way to sweep your problems under the rug. The good news? There is something better that will look great and last. When it comes to storage, whether you like to keep your stuff behind closed doors or organized within easy reach, Hello Garage has you covered. People want looks, durability, and function. Simple design that just plain works. And all these great products are installed by great people. People who treat your home like their own. It's why we can confidently back your flooring project with our lifetime warranty. We'll say that part again. Your floor comes with a lifetime warranty. So, if you're ready to make your garage the true extension of your home it deserves to be, we're here to help you open up all the possibilities. Pull into the calm, take a deep breath, and say it out loud. Hello, garage.
So I know the garage space, you can use it for a ton of things. You can park the cars in it and you'd be done with it. You can make it a workshop like Jim. You can, I've seen man caves, exercise spaces. The days of just having a couple cars parked in there and calling it quits, those days are kind of long gone. People use their garage for all sorts of things. These are among them. And what we specialize really is protecting the floor, giving you a place of organization, and in your guys' case, a workshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few videos about what we offer, and then we'll go through some questions and answers. So this video, unfortunately, it's not nice and produced like the last video. It means you have to listen to me talk. So when it comes to your garage floor, you basically have three options. We can get this done again. Let's try this again. Gotta love technology. So basically we have three options when it comes to your garage floor. You have bare concrete, you have an epoxy floor, or you have our product, which is polyaspartic. With bare concrete, there is no benefit to a bare concrete floor. They are ugly, they stain, they crack, they chip. And most people, they don't like them, they're looking for something better, so that's why they call us in the first place. But when people think of concrete, they usually think of a nice, smooth concrete surface. But in actuality, at the microscopic level, concrete is extremely rough. On top of that, it's extremely porous. So anything that falls on your garage floor, whether it is motor oil, brake fluid, a spilled beer, wood glue, whatever it might be, it's going to get down into the pores and the cracks of the concrete. And once it's there, good luck getting it out. You can pressure wash it, you can sweep it, doesn't matter, it's pretty much there forever. But the worst thing for your garage floor that most people don't think of is water and moisture. When water soaks into the concrete and evaporates, soaks into concrete and evaporates, over time it'll start to break down the concrete. And eventually you end up with general degradation of floor. Come on. Pitting, flaking, cracking, just general disrepair. And once that starts to happen, depending on how bad it is, it can be very expensive to fix. The other problem with bare concrete is organic material. Dirt, dust, leaves, debris, sawdust. All that settles down into the grooves and the pores of the concrete. And once it's down there, good luck getting rid of it. You can pressure wash it, you can sweep it, leaf blower, but it's not going to get rid of it. That dust is going to stay down there. And you more than likely take a broom to your floor and you can sweep the same spot 5 times, but you'll still have dust coming up. And then over time, as that organic material starts to decompose, that's where you get that kind of musky garage odor from. And here is an old worn out garage. So the second option that's very popular is epoxy. And epoxy's been around for a long time. Epoxy is originally used as an adhesive, also used as a coating. So it sticks to anything, it dries hard, and people think, man, this will be great for a garage floor. It's good in theory, but there are some significant drawbacks to epoxy. So epoxy is a 2-part material. It's a resin and a hardener that's mixed together on site. But epoxy comes together very, very thick, and it sets very, very slowly. It's actually one of the reasons it's so popular. It's because if you make a mistake, you can just go back over and fix it before it cures. But epoxy is what we consider to be a large molecule formula. So if you imagine your garage floor is almost like a piece of toast with all the nooks and crannies, epoxy is going to spread on very, very thick, almost like peanut butter. But what happens is it really only hits the high points of the concrete. And what that does is it leaves a lot of negative space underneath the floor. And with that, it doesn't saturate into the pores of the concrete to really create that permanent adhesion to the floor. So what you're left with is a flooring that's really just kind of floating on top of the concrete. It doesn't have that true adhesion. And then anything you drop on your floor, whether you drop a hammer, a mallet, a wrench, something falls off your workbench, whatever it might be, it's going to leave microfractures in that flooring. You may not see them right away, but they're going to be there. And then any moisture that hits your floor, it's going to find those cracks, get down into the concrete. But now when that water evaporates, it doesn't just break down the concrete, it delaminates the epoxy. And eventually that floor will start to pop and peel off. The other problem with epoxy is hot tire pickup. People don't think of how hot their tires get, especially here in the South in the summertime. Your tires get up to 130, even 140 degrees. And as that hot tire rolls back and forth over the surface, over and over and over, it'll start to wear a groove in that epoxy coating. The other problem with hot tires is at night, when that tire cools down and it contracts, it takes that flooring with it. And so if you ever go in a garage that has an older epoxy floor, you'll see tire tracks where they pull in and out every day, and this is why. Epoxy floors are also not UV stable. So if it's a nice day, Jim's working in his workshop in the garage, leaves the door open, that sun's coming in. Over time, that sun is going to start to break down the epoxy and turn it yellow. But the other problem with it is it starts to even become more hard and brittle. And everything, the more brittle it is, the more likely it is to crack and fail. This is actually a piece of epoxy that has had a 5-year UV simulation on it, and you can see how yellow it is, and also how hard it is. So I can pass that around here, Michael. Oh, nice catch. Got it. And then, more inconvenience than anything else, epoxy floors can take up to a week to cure. So you have to stay out of the garage, keep the cars in the driveway, items in storage for a full week while it cures. Definitely an inconvenience. So that brings us to my product, the polyaspartic. So polyaspartic, come on. Polyaspartic is also a 2-part material. There is an A side and a B side that we mix together on site. But polyaspartic comes together very, very thin, and it sets very, very quickly. It actually has such a short pot life, we have to work in a 2-man team to get the flooring down before it starts to cure. But polyaspartic is what we consider to be a small molecule formula. So if you imagine your garage floor is that same piece of toast, our product goes on like melted butter rather than peanut butter. So it fills every groove and crack on your floor, so it doesn't allow that negative space on the backside. So once it sets up, you have a solid material all the way down to the concrete. On top of that, it actually saturates into the pores of the concrete to really create that permanent adhesion. So once it's down, it is down for good. The only way it's coming up is if you diamond grind it off, or you take a jackhammer your garage and bust out the entire slab. So we did some adhesion tests where we compared our product side by side with the epoxy. The way they did it was they took a giant suction cup, glued it down to the floor, and then put it on a hydraulic press. With the epoxy at a certain pressure, the epoxy just pops right off. With the polyaspartic coating, the concrete failed before the flooring came up. So once it's down, it is down for good. You don't have to worry about it flaking off or peeling. Does anyone know what they first used polyaspartics for? No. No, we got one other answer.
Truck bed liners.
Truck bed liners, that is it. It is those spray and rhino liners. That was the first commercial use for polyaspartic. And if you ever had one of those, they are pretty durable, and that's why the contractors put them in their trucks, or they wouldn't be worth it. The other problem with epoxy is it's very, very rigid. If that puck is made it around, you can see how tough it is. The problem with that is your garage slab expands and contracts. And as that garage slab moves, the epoxy stays static. Well, the polyaspartic actually has an elasticity, so it's going to move with the garage floor so you don't develop stress fractures. So that is the polyaspartic. And we are UV stable. So you leave the garage door open while you're working in the wood shop, it's not going to yellow out on you. And with the yellowing, it doesn't mean you have that brittleness that the epoxy or even polyureas and polyurethanes have. So our product gives you protection from water and dirt on your garage floor. We permeate the concrete to create that permanent adhesion. We're UV stable, and we give it a lifetime warranty. On top of all that, we set up in a day. You can walk on it in 24 hours, you can drive on it in 48 hours. I do recommend if you had anything really heavy, you wait 72 hours. Like if you had a freestanding lathe or something, some really heavy duty equipment, I like to give it 72 hours to get a really full cure before you put anything like that on there. And then I had one gentleman who, down at Lake Wiley, he has a gorgeous house right on the lake with a two-car garage across the courtyard from the 3-car garage. In the 2-car garage, he kept his Porsche. His 3-car garage was his wood shop. And the way we did it was we moved everything into one garage, did one floor, moved everything back to the other. We did his wood shop first, and I came back the next day after he was moving stuff in, and he's like, "Oh, we got a problem, Rob." I'm like, "What's going on?" I was moving my table saw, and I didn't clean the wheels, and it gave me some resistance, so I just pushed it. And it had a little screw or something that caught on one of the wheels, and so he put a nice scratch right in the top coat, which can happen, but we fixed it up and cleaned it. Had that been 72 hours, it probably wouldn't have been nearly as bad, but our product is like concrete. If you can scratch concrete, you can scratch our product, but at the same time, it's as durable as concrete. So if you drop a hammer or anything like that, it's not going to chip. So this is a quick video on how we do the install. Whoop.
Some think all garage floor coatings are pretty much the same, but here's a few key things anyone should consider when making this kind of investment. Now you might be tempted to do this yourself with one of the do-it-yourself kits from your local big box home store. But do-it-yourself kit usually only looks good for a few years or even just months before it eventually starts to peel, crack, and discolor. Why? Because these kits use epoxy coatings, which are among the easiest products to apply, but also the least effective long-term. See, epoxy coatings tend to be less expensive, but even when professionally installed, they peel and crack over time, and epoxy yellows from exposure to UV rays. The polyaspartic system used at Hello Garage has none of these drawbacks. Polyaspartics are safe, durable, long-lasting, and offer granite-like look and feel. They look better, wear harder, and last longer than epoxy or weaker polyurethane options. So much so that polyaspartic coatings have been used in commercial applications like hospitals and even airplane hangars. So here's how it works. We diamond grind the entire floor for maximum adhesion and long life. Cracks and damage are repaired and ground down a second time for a glass smooth surface. After a thorough cleaning, the Hello Garage floor system consists of a polyaspartic color base coat, vinyl flake layer, and second polyaspartic clear top coat for ultimate shine and durability. It's not something you buy at the home store and do yourself. It sets very quickly and requires at least 2 installers to do it right. So, when it comes to your garage floor, consider using a 100% polyaspartic coat installed by experienced professionals. And don't forget, it's warranty for life.
So this video is about all our storage. And I know woodworkers do a lot of build their own workbench, make their own shelves, and I totally get that, and that works great. What we do offer is all metal construction, and it's actually made by the same company that makes all of the shelving for Walmart and Target. So they are designed to hold hundreds of pounds of canned goods. So each shelf can hold up to 300 pounds. So depending on what you're trying to store, we can definitely try to help you out. So there's 2 minutes and then
The dream garage. Everybody wants one, but here's the thing. What if it wasn't just a dream? What if it could be the ideal space? Not just for your vehicles, but also for hobbies, crafts, parties and events, storage, and more. Whatever you do or want to start doing, we're here to help you create a space that lets you do it better. And there's something for just about every budget. You know, people tell us it's all about looks, durability, and function. So naturally, that's what we've delivered. Our exclusive industrial-grade storage solutions are stronger, more durable, and more customizable than anything else on the market today. The bottom line, you simply can't get this caliber of storage anywhere else. So what does that mean? Well, it means Hello Garage storage and organization solutions perform in any situation you can throw at it. Hello Garage storage and organization options are built specifically for the garage environment, and that's a big difference that many don't consider. To us, function comes first, and we think that's beautiful too. So what should you consider? Well, we'll let you tell us. If you want your things organized and within easy reach, well, Hello Garage shelves, slat wall, and our track system, those are your answers. A simple, strong, and ideal way to store just about everything you want where it's easy to see and easy to access. Limited on space, or want to use space that you couldn't before, or maybe just want things out of the way?
No, this is perfect.
Well, Hello Garage overhead storage is the perfect solution. If you like your stuff behind closed doors, Hello Garage cabinets are great. They're sleek and strong, providing both space and convenience while keeping clutter out of sight. But be careful, they also cause severe neighborhood. And finally, we know a dream garage isn't just about how you organize everything, it's also getting creative about how you use the space. That's where our drop zone and workbench configurations really shine. They don't only transform your garage, but also how you use your house. Shelves, cabinets, organization, lifestyle. Start with one, mix and match several, or, well, our favorite, of course. It's not just a dream. Open up the possibilities with Hello Garage.
So I've got one last video, and I know someone mentioned earlier there's no such thing as a good dust collection system, and this, I do not pretend that this is, because I know how much sawdust you guys make, but this is a great way to kind of clean up around the shop and make it a little bit easier on yourselves without having to break out the shop vac every time.
Hey, even the nicest garage can be a magnet for dust and dirt. Hobbies, chores, working on the car, or just everyday use can create a mess that's no fun to clean up. Or can it? That's where the garage vacuum from Hello Garage comes in. This thing is seriously powerful. Between 3 and 5 times the suction power of a standard vacuum. Good thing its replaceable bags hold up to 8 pounds of dirt, dust, and debris because you'll be using it a lot. And unlike a shop vac that takes up floor space, can tip over, and needs to be plugged in every time you use it, our garage vacuum is always ready to go. And when you're done with it, well, just watch this. How cool is that? The garage vacuum is custom configured for your garage layout and installed by the Hello Garage Dream Team for a neat, clean, built-in look. So when it's not in use, you hardly know it's there. But when you need it, it'll reach every nook and cranny in your garage. And it's great for detailing your car, too. The garage vacuum from Hello Garage. It really is the perfect solution for keeping your dream garage and everything in it looking great for years to come.
So that's our flooring. Everything we do is done by my employees. We don't use subs. We don't use third parties that we go see who wants to work today. Everything I do has a lifetime warranty. Most projects are a one-day install. So if you had a standard kind of 2-car garage with a few shelves and the floor, we could do it in a day. If you had a 800 square foot workspace, you wanted 10 sets of shelves and all that kind of stuff, probably 2 days. But we're pretty easy to work with. And does anybody know kind of their rough estimate size of their garage? We do 20 by 20 is kind of a standard 2-car garage. So if we did 40 by 40, that's a heck of a 1,600 square foot garage. That's quite a space. If we go with just kind of a standard 2-car garage with your 40 feet of control joints, and one thing we do, and no matter who you use, whether you're doing it yourself, if you get a third party come out and do it, if they don't check the moisture of the concrete, run away. Because if you have a high moisture in your concrete and they don't do anything about it, the floor is going to peel up and you're going to have problems within probably months, if not years. But if we did a garage for you, just kind of a standard 2-car garage, I'm ballpark around $3,000, and all my numbers are full install, full turnkey, labor, material, install, taxes, delivery. And if we can ever do anything for you guys, if you need help in your workshop, we'd be happy to help you out. We offer possibility of moving things in and out, so you don't have to do all that work yourself. I can't put your tools back together and arrange it for you, but we'd be happy to help you out in any way you can. Any questions? Yes, sir.
What about fumes? My workshop is in my basement with a painted, I think it was a concrete paint floor.
Yep.
What was concrete? What's the off-gassing?
Yeah, so the question is about off-gassing and the fumes. We do have a off-gas. Now, is it bad? I don't think so, but everyone's perception of how bad it is up to them. I've been to some people like, man, this wasn't nearly as bad as I thought. And some people like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me how bad the vapors are? So it's hard to say without knowing your sensitivity. But yes, there is an off-gas. It's usually gone within 24 hours. But it is not a hazardous material. It's not something where we need to wear face masks while we're installing it, but it does have a bit of an odor to it. Yes, sir.
How does it hold up to like welding, grinding, and all that stuff?
So how does it hold up to welding and grinding? So it depends on if you're welding on the floor. I mean, if it's gonna break down the concrete, it's gonna break down my floor. But if you're just working on a table and there's sparks coming off, that's not a problem. The only thing that's really gonna hurt the floor is battery acid. Battery acid is gonna chew through concrete. The only time I really see that is an old golf cart where the battery explodes. But your just normal wear and tear of motor oil, stuff like that, that's not going to affect it. And it doesn't stain. If you do get something on the floor, we recommend Simple Green. For my floor, I just use a wet mop, and that takes care of it.
It'd be installed without the flake.
So it cannot be sold without the flake, and the reason is twofold. One, if I put that material down and I didn't have the flake in it to give it some grip, it's going to be slick as ice. If it gets any moisture on it, you're going to wipe out quite a bit. The other thing is, if we didn't have it with the paint flake, you'd see all the repair work and everything that would be done underneath, and it just wouldn't look as good aesthetically. Now we can do custom colors. We did a airplane hangar last summer, and the owner, I didn't know people had private airplane hangars in Charlotte, but he walked out his backyard around his pool into the airplane hangar, opened up the doors, takes off. Kind of jealous. But he built the plane himself, and he did all the maintenance, and he did not want to lose a part if he dropped it. So he's like, I can't have any contracts. So we picked out a solid gray floor and did the floor. It's still in paint flake, it still has a traction, but it was one color. So it had that, still the workability to have a clean look that you could find the parts, but still have the traction so it didn't have those issues. Yes, sir.
How do you deal with moisture?
Excellent question. So the question is how we deal with moisture. And what we do is we have a moisture mediation base coat that we put down. The difference is the standard coating, it cures within about 45 minutes to an hour before I can put the top coat on. With the high moisture material, it has to cure for 12 hours before I can put the top coat on. So it goes from a 1-day project to a 2-day project. Other than that, it doesn't really change anything. Yes, sir.
So in woodworking, moisture is the devil as well.
Yep.
So what we usually do is dry our wood for some period of time, or with a kiln. Do you actually just cover the moisture up, or do you remediate the moisture?
Correct. Yeah, question is, do we remediate the moisture or do we cover it up? We cover it up. Yeah, if the problem with concrete is, and I'm not worried about surface moisture, I'm worried about moisture coming up through the ground into the core of the concrete. The only time I really see it is new construction, because it can take up to a year for a slab to fully cure. So if someone's had that slab for 8 months, it's still gonna have a high moisture content. If you've got a 20-year-old house and you've got a high moisture content, you got something under your house you need to worry about, possibly. But if you do have a high moisture, yeah, we cover it up. I don't fix the moisture.
It'd be good to have a vapor barrier under the concrete.
Yes, yeah, if they poured the concrete properly by code now, it would have a vapor barrier. I don't know what the code was 30 years ago. My guess is it probably didn't have one. But yeah, if there's a vapor barrier under the concrete, that helps a lot. Back corner.
Are there warranties transferable?
So, good question. Are the warranties transferable? We don't transfer the warranty 10 years down the road, just because it's so hard to keep up with. If you are doing this project to, hey, I'm putting my house on the market, and I want to do this because I want to fix my ugly garage floor, absolutely transferable. Or if it's in the case of a builder, and we do the project for a builder, he sells it to the homeowner, that is transferable. But 15 years down the road, unfortunately, it's just a hard one to keep up with. Yes, sir.
You hinted on this a while ago. In my shop, I have a wood floor,
Yep.
and it is very kind to a chisel when I drop it. How kind to a chisel with your floor?
Kind to a chisel if you drop it.
Everybody in here has had that problem.
Oh yeah. So, is it going to dull your chisel if you drop it on my floor, or is it going to chip my floor?
A concrete floor would chip the chisel.
Right.
And you'd have to resharpen it.
Yeah. I can't say it's not gonna chip or chisel. It doesn't have a rubberized texture to it, like a rubber mat. It's as hard as concrete. So if the concrete's gonna chip your chisel, my floor is gonna chip your chisel. There's no way around that.
Will it chip the floor?
It shouldn't chip the floor. That goes into that kind of 72 hours curing time. I chipped my floor because within 24 hours I was hanging things up. And I had a hedge trimmer, like a big 17-inch bar hedge trimmer, and I missed the hook and took a nosedive from 4 feet and put a chip in. And I'm like, that's on me. So, but yeah, after 72 hours, that shouldn't happen. And if it does, that's a warranty issue, and I'll come out and fix it. Yes, ma'am?
If you need to add like a 1/4 inch of fill, would you do cement first, or would you do?
Yeah, so if we had to do a leveling, yeah, this product is so thin, it doesn't act as a leveler. I mean, if we do your garage floor, we're only talking maybe 12 to 15 mils. It's not a thick product. So if you have a 1/2 inch that needs to be leveled, that would need to be done first. Now I had a customer, he had a covered patio that he wanted us to do, and he said, I know there's a little bit of a lull in it, but I don't want to get a level out there. Just go ahead and just put some more clear top coat on that. And we did. And he's like, why is there a big puddle in my floor? I said, well, because we did a leveler, and we use as a leveler, and it shows up that way. It looks thick. And he didn't like the way it looked, but I said, yeah, there's not much I can do about that now. So if you are concerned about it being overly unlevel, I do recommend leveling it first. That being said, if you just have a little bit of a depression, we're going to follow the contour, and it's not going to pool, it's going to work, and you'll be able to have a bit of a curved surface, and that would work just fine. Yes, sir?
Can you go over any other substrate besides concrete? Can you go over tile as well, or terracotta?
So no, and the problem is, the reason we diamond grind is to open up the pores of the concrete to give it as much surface area as possible to adhere to. That tile is just not going to have the same grip, and I couldn't warranty that it's not going to delaminate over time. Now I do, like if you had the stem wall coming up in the side of the garage, and that was something other besides concrete, I've done wood, I've done the Trex system that they had going around it. So that works for it's on a vertical surface, it's not being walked on. But if it was a tile floor, no, I couldn't do that.
What about a wood floor?
Wood floor, so we will do like the treads, like if you had 3 steps coming up into the kitchen off the garage, we'll do those top of those treads. I've never done a whole floor that way. I'd have to talk to my corporate office and find out if anybody's tried that, because wood has enough pores, it's going to adhere.
We have members with wood floors.
Yeah.
Talking 1,200, 1,500 square feet of wood floors.
Yeah. I might do some research on that, because I don't want to say no, we couldn't, because we do put it on wood. I've just never done an entire room of wood flooring with it.
You had a floor that was cracked and kind of like not level.
Yeah.
Like the diamond grind and just basically take the high spots off, or it depends on how bad.
So it depends on how bad. So if we're talking like, you know, a 2-inch rise, I can't fix that. I could coat it and make it look better.
1/4 inch. So
1/4 inch, we're going to make it a lot less noticeable, because what we'll do is we'll do a crack repair material. We're going to grind it, and that's going to bring it down quite a bit. Okay. So it's still going to be there a little bit, but definitely a lot better than it was. Yes, sir. Yeah.
How much more would that be if we had to remove the previous box?
So what I usually charge is $1 a square foot. So if you had a 400 square foot garage, it'd be another $400. And the only reason for that is twofold. One, it takes me twice as long to grind it, because I have to grind off the epoxy and then grind the concrete. And that old epoxy gums up my diamond badly. So sometimes I have to replace the diamond heads on them. Yes, sir.
I've seen a lot of garages, including my own, that have like a water heater
Yep.
in the garage.
Yep.
Just go around it.
Yeah, so if it's on a stand, we can paint around it, and you'll have those 4 points of contact at the floor, but we go all the way around it otherwise. Yep, we're pretty good about being able to get into most any area. In my garage, we did underneath the 3-foot riser stairs, and there's a raised part of the closet, and we were able to get under it. So it's rare where we can't get completely under something. Let me show you real quick. One of the other things we do when we come out and visit with you is we do a full workup of your garage. So we'll do a full 3D design work. So this is a project we're doing. Oh, I'm not on. There we go. Don't look at me like crazy, like I'm crazy. What are you showing us here? So we can do a 3D design work of your garage. So this garage is over Mountain Brook in South Park, where he's got a long, skinny garage, but he has about 500 square feet total. And we put 3 sets of cabinets, 6 sets of shelves, a workbench, and then 2 slat walls. And this all in was about a $12,000 project. So we've done everything from a $1,500 small room to that $30,000 airplane hangar, and all points in between. So we're happy to work with kind of any project, any budget, and we go from Lake Norman to Lake Wiley, but we go even further out. I had an appointment 2 weeks ago in Campobello. If anybody knows where that's at, it's way out there. Yes, sir?
I'd like to thank you for the donuts.
Well, you're very welcome. Now, I will say, I offered to bring pizza and beer, but Jim said no.
Where's Jim?
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for allowing me to come out. Thank you. My business card is in the folder. If you didn't get a folder, come grab one. If you want to touch the samples, come up, feel free. And I'm actually offering anyone, if you're interested, I can give you a 10% discount off the entire project. So let me know, and I'd be happy to take care of that for you. Awesome. Yeah, so I do have a website. It's hellogarageofsouthcharlotte.com, or you can go to hellogarage.com, and that'll get you there. But yeah, I didn't know about this. The way the process works is we actually come to your home. I check the moisture on site. I do all the design work for you. We go through this presentation. I wouldn't have to do it to you again if you saw it today. But we do everything on site and get you taken care of. Yes, sir.
Estimates are free?
Estimates are absolutely free. Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Remind everybody, next time